Do you have small pads in your paper stash that you need to work on using up? If so, then you need to follow along with our Smashing Those Small Paper Pad collaboration that I'm doing with a couple crafty friends for inspiration on how to use up those paper pads. Hey guys, it's Beth, welcome. And like I said, this is Smashing Those Small Paper Pads, a collaboration that I'm doing with Sarah, who is Crafting Relaxing here on YouTube, and Kathy, who is Stampin' Cat over on Instagram. We tend to do little collaborations together throughout the year, and Smash That Small Paper Pad was a collaboration that we were part of the last 2 years, and it was discontinued. And we decided that we needed to continue using up those small pads, and we thought that kind of creating our own little collaboration would help motivate us to continue using those. So we decided to get together at the end of each month and share how we used our small pads. And this month I used 2 partial pads that were in my drawer of the 6x6 pads. And I just wanted to get them out of the way because I kept moving them to get to other pads and I was afraid they were going to get messed up. And so I just thought I would start out with those and get those out of the way for the year. And I will insert a picture here of what I had to start with. So neither one was a full pad. This pink pad was 6x6 and I think I inherited what was left of it from my mother-in-law. And then the pads with the mince peach, gold and white and black was a Paper Studio pad that my daughter split with me. So she kept most of it, but she had given me a chunk, like one of each sheet or a couple of each sheet, whatever. And she kept the rest of it. So what did I make? I made a bunch, actually. We'll start with my first goal that I had wanted to do with these pads. If you followed me for a while, you know that whenever I ship an online order, whether it's from Etsy, our Etsy shop, or our website, I like to use the corner bookmarks that just slide over the paperwork, kind of hold it all together so that it goes with the order, and then it just gives like a little extra gift to the recipient. Just kind of an unexpected little bonus. Hopefully they understand what it is, what it can be used for, and don't just throw it away. But it's also a good way to use up like paper in my stash. So I started with the 6x6 pink sheets and just left them 6x6, folded them into the square, and so that gave me these 3x3 inch corner bookmarks, and I got a bunch of those. And then there were some smaller scraps left from that pink pad, and so I made some smaller bookmarks as well. And then I also made some from the Paper Studio pad. So these are about 2.5 or 2.25 by 2.25. So I got a bunch from that pad as well. And then I had some strips left from cutting down the Paper Studio pads, and then a few scraps from the pink. And so I decided to make some hidden paperclip bookmarks as well. So there's a paperclip in between the 2 layers, like the paper and the cardstock, and it, you know, allows the paperclip to slide on and hold paper together, or, you know, mark your page, whatever, but you can't see the paperclip. And so I just went through my cardstock stash and pulled out cardstock pieces that would go with the pattern paper strips I had left and just layered them up. And I didn't embellish these just because, like I said, they're going to go with orders, so I didn't want to put a whole lot of money or time into them, and so I just made them very simple, just as a way to use up some of the paper and, like I said, hold my order paperwork together. The next thing I wanted to do was, because this pad, the Paper Studio pad, had like gold, white, and black, it was just very glam, very modern, and so I wanted to make some nail file holders. So you've seen me share these before. I did a tutorial which I can link below, but basically there's just you fold and glue the box together, and then you can slide a nail file holder in here. And they sold like hotcakes at Christmas time as stocking stuffers. And I had a few non-Christmassy ones, and everybody like used up all the Christmassy ones, and so I had the non-Christmassy ones left over. And so I thought that I could make some more, and we have a craft show this spring. I thought maybe I could try and market them as Easter basket stuffers. I don't know how that will go over, if it will be as popular as the stocking stuffers. I don't know, but I thought I would try. They're, you know, pretty inexpensive to make, so I can sell them pretty inexpensively. And again, they do use up paper. And I just decorated with some punch circles and random stickers or embellishments from my stash. Then I was using scraps. Well, yeah, we'll go with the scraps from the Bookmarks. Because I folded those 6x6 sheets into a cube, that left me, I had trimmed out one full square, so I had a bunch of 3-inch squares of the pink paper. And I decided to go ahead and try and get a scrapbook page out of those rather than trying to figure out how to use up all the squares on cards. Because if you follow me, again, you know that I always have a goal of getting years done of scrapbooking. So this year it happens to be 2015, 2016. So I trimmed my pink squares down to 2 3/4 each, and that way I could layer them together and make a grid. Just did a grid on top and bottom, my pictures in the middle, and then I pulled out an Echo Park ephemera collection, and I want to say it's all girl, the Echo Park all girl collection. And because I liked the pinks, and I liked, you know, it talked about being sweet, and I had decided to use this big one as my title, and I wanted to use this So Sweet label. But then it brought blue into the layout, which I didn't have any of. So I had wanted to use hearts that I had punched out of some of the other scraps to decorate. But I went into my punched heart stash and found a couple, like 3 turquoise ones that I could use to kind of pull that blue through, just so it wasn't so out of place. And then just also use some other small ephemera pieces to decorate. So not an overly exciting layout, but helped me use all those squares, and I didn't have to cut them down very much. So the next thing I did, and I love these. These are from the Paper Studio pad, and there was a pattern that had little tiny black hearts on a white background, and then the words love on the white background. And we are coming up on Valentine's Day, and so I thought, oh, like just the black and white. It's kind of like modern farmhouse, just very crisp. And so I decided to make, we have these houses, these little houses that we sell either at craft shows or on our online stores. And I decided to make some little Valentine hearts. These would be perfect. You could pepper them in like a little shelf grouping, or they could go in a tiered tray if you use those. But I just added some black and white twine, kind of hot glued it there on the back and wrapped it so that it kind of spread out on one side but bunched together on the other, and then added some, like a bigger red heart, felt heart, with a smaller white felt heart on top. So you just get that small pop of red. Just very clean, very crisp. So I do love those. So hopefully I can get those up in our online shops here soon. And then I did make a bunch of cards. And Ellie is also working on her portion of the pads, and she didn't finish it, but she made a bunch of cards too. There were some directional patterns in that Paper Studio pad that I didn't want to try and make into bookmarks because of when you fold it, some part of it's going to be upside down. So I just decided to save those for cards. And in my stash, I have these black card bases and envelopes that I picked up from, I think, Michael's on clearance, like super clearance. And they're a weird size. They're 5 by 6.5, so kind of an odd size, but they were cheap enough that I thought I can always use card bases. So I decided to try and use those up too, because that allowed me, I didn't have to trim off very much of this pattern paper in order to fit it on the front of the card. And then I brought in some scraps to help offset, just kind of help decorate the cards, and then some stickers from a planner pad that I had, a planner sticker pad that I had that I don't use. So I just brought those in to help add some decorations. And then here is another one. Just use some of the planner stickers, and I did layer this one on white. And then on the inside there is white paper with pattern strips. This was the squares that came from those little bookmarks, little corner bookmarks, and I just used this card sketch to make a little pinwheel flower kind of thing, and I liked, by putting it on these black card bases, it really gave me more room and the colors popped. So then I just covered the circle, the point in the center with a gold circle, and then just accented with some more of the gold circles. We have a flamingo one, Be Fabulous, accented with some stickers, and then this one was Hello Lovely sticker that I layered up. And then from the scraps that were left of the pink pad, I cut a bunch of hearts. They're like just over 1-inch hearts. And I discovered that I could get a whole bunch on one of the black card bases. So I could fit 12 on here if I spread them out. So I did, and then just added some little vinyl sticker strips down here, and then a thank you sentiment. And then I had a few hearts left that I used on the inside there. And then because the envelopes are black, I did add a little stamped label to each one, and then also accented with some of the scraps that I had left. So that's my portion. And then, like I said, Ellie had been using some of hers, so she just has a bunch of cards where she's, you know, used the paper and the scraps, just very simple, mostly thank you cards. She really loved the peach and gold. Like, she did a really good job lining up her strips there. Very proud. So that's her stash so far, and she's still working on it. So I did have some other scraps left that I just punched into hearts, and we'll pass those on to her, and she can use them as she finishes up her portion of the pad. But that is what I did this month. Please be sure to check out Kathy and Sarah. They will be linked in the description box below, and you can see what pads they used and what they made, and follow us throughout the year for more inspiration on using up your small pads. Thank you guys so much for your time today, and hope you all have a very crafty day.